Today on Time Sports Recap, can the men's basketball team extend their winning streak while on the road? The women's team hopes to switch gears while in Montana. Josh Gentry and Richie Schueler are in the studio talking about men's basketball, and we have an all-new Top 5. All this and much more on Time Sports Recap. Hello and welcome back to Titan Sports Recap, bringing you the best video coverage of Cal State Fullerton athletics. We've got a great episode in store for you. I'm Janice Garcia, along with my co-host, Melina Joseph.
Thank you, Janice. How was your weekend, by the way?
It was good. As Californians would say, I shredded the gnar today.
Oh, okay.
Well, I went to Mountain High, and I fell many times, but it's okay.
That's okay.
And for
you got back up, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of course. I went to Cali Christmas on Friday, saw Chris Brown perform.
Cool.
It was amazing.
And your favorite song?
Say Goodbye.
Okay. The women's basketball team have not won a game since November 17th when they played Loyola Marymount. However, the team slid down another slope on the road trip to Montana. Karima Gabriel got the momentum going to score the first 4 points of the game, but the Titans defense gave up 12 points to the Montana Grizzlies. Shortly after, the Titans cut the deficit to 11-14. The Grizzlies held on to the lead 22-14 at the end of the period. Gabriel and Michelle Berry had a combination of 11 points scored. Along came the second period where the Titans did not have any control. Montana outscored the team 31-7 and had a 33-point advantage, which was the largest deficit this season for the Titans. Berry scored 18 points and Gabriel contributed with 11 points. And with the loss of Danny Craig, the Titans seemed to not be in control. With 4 Grizzlies producing double-digit points, the Titans could not defeat the power and pressure of Montana. The Titans recorded season lows of 14.3% from behind the arc. They had 27 rebounds in their third lowest scoring game. And with losses to Montana State and Montana, the Titans are on a 7-game losing streak. It's a hard stretch we are in right now, Coach Darren Park said, and the only way we will come out of it is to keep on fighting and working to improve every day.
On the other hand, the men's team seemed to exceed everyone's expectations for their season. In the first half, the Titans took an early 4-0 lead and added 11 more points in 12 minutes and 6 seconds. It took a turn for the worse when the Titans recorded 19 fouls and 12 turnovers, which allowed the Washington Huskies to stay alive and gain their first lead with only 4 minutes and 24 seconds left in the half. Even though the Titans were trailing 46-37 in the half, they outshot the Huskies 43% to 38% in the frame. The Titans defense could not shake the Huskies as they shot 50% from the field and outscored the Titans 41-32. Even though Malcolm Brooks, Lionheart Leslie, and Lanarell Johnson all had double digits, the Titans could not cut down the 22-point deficit any lower than 14. Brooks had a career-high 20 points, and Washington's DeJounte Murray knocked down 17 points. Titans lost 87-69 and saw their 6-game winning streak come to an end. Fullerton had shot 34.4% from the field. Overall, the team had a great game when it came to offense, but they allowed 24 fouls and 20 turnovers, which held them down. They return to Titan Gym on Saturday, December 12th, and host Loyola Marymount at 6 p.m. Now to talk a little bit more about men's basketball team is our analyst Josh Gentry and our special guest Richie Schueler, who knows some facts about the Big West Conference. Take it away, Janice.
Thank you, Melina. I'm Janice Garcia. Thanks for joining us. I'm here with Josh Gentry and our special guest, Richie Schueler, ESPN3 college basketball analyst for the Big West Conference. Thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I love being here.
And now that the season is on its way, Titans are 6-2. What are you guys thinking so far?
I think they came out the gate strong, winning 6 in a row. Obviously, they ran into a tough opponent with their last game, losing to Washington. But yeah, I think they came out and they shocked a lot of people with the ringing off 6 in a row.
And now for you, starting off, looking into the season?
Yeah, I don't think the expectations were really high for people inside the Big West Conference because they struggled last year. They graduated the bulk of their scoring. I think they graduated 5 guys last year.
Yeah.
And so I don't think the expectations were too high. I think it was really more the unknown. You know, who's going to come in, what transfers are going to take place, or come in and really help this program get to the next level.
Absolutely.
And then now, of course, you were one of the basketball graduates last year. Seeing the team differently last year, of course, being on the team, and now looking at it now. Have you talked to some of the guys? What are your differences that you see in the teams?
Yeah, I still talk to the coaches and I still talk to the players. We're still cool. Like some of the guys who were redshirting last year that are playing now and doing pretty good. we're on good terms. We're friends, so we talk a lot. I think they're playing at a much faster pace. They're shooting more threes, so that's good. And they're making more threes as well. So it's a weapon that they're using to be deadly with, and I like it.
And what do you see differently now, Richie?
I think the biggest difference really is the transfers in the program. You brought in 3 transfers: Trey Coggins, Malcolm Brooks, Lionheart Leslie, and they're all making a major impact. And like you said, Josh, the shooting for the team is immensely better. I think it's 38% from behind the arc. I mean, that's really good three-point shooting. And if they can keep up that consistency with the same level of attack that Coach Taylor likes to play, I mean, really attacking the basket, you can mold those two things together and play solid defense. You can have a strong team. So they've surprised a lot of people here in the early going. It's been nice to see.
And then names like Trey Coggins, of course, he's playing 27.5 minutes a game, along with Lionheart Leslie, who's 21, and then Malcolm Brooks, 24.4. So those are names that are coming up in the season. What do you think their performance is right now? And like I was saying, Malcolm Brooks was redshirting, now he's playing.
Yeah, I seen talent in those guys last year as well. Those are 2 good pickups that Coach Taylor went out and got, and I think he knew what they were capable of. And right now they're showing it to the people who didn't know their names because they were redshirting last year. So now they're getting a chance and an opportunity to really show what type of players they are, and they're proving themselves pretty good. As a valiant effort last night from Malcolm Brooks, having 20 in a loss. But with more efforts like that, I think they only can go up.
Yeah, with those 2 guys, Coggins and Brooks, were known shooters coming in. I mean, everybody knew those two guys could really shoot the basketball. They did it in their previous schools. It was Air Force for Brooks, I believe.
Air Force was for Trey Coggins. Malcolm Brooks came from Pepperdine.
From Pepperdine, yeah. So you had 2 really proven scorers and shooters at this level. I think the big surprise for me, anyway, has been Lionheart Leslie. And I think really he's the key to the puzzle that's brought this whole team together to get to the 6-2 start. Because, I mean, just like as his name is, he's got the heart of a lion. I mean, he's that kind of player. He's a nitty-gritty, on the floor, defensive player, will attack the basket. I mean, I think he's really the glue that holds his team together thus far in the season.
Still a little speedy, man. I see him on the courts going up and down.
Yeah.
Can catch him.
His size is misleading, man. I'm pretty sure he's shocked people out there. He's putting a tough fight, and he's proving himself.
And now with talking about Coach Diedrich's coaching skills, you've seen him behind the courts and you in front of the cameras. What's so different about it?
Coach Taylor is a great coach, man. He's a player's coach. He's someone you can easily approach and easily talk to. Something a lot of people don't know about Coach Taylor is a sense of humor. He's a funny guy, man. He's always cracking jokes. But at the same time, he can switch that over in half a second and be really serious about and really passionate about this game, which is why he's a good coach.
So I heard you can do a pretty good Diedrich Taylor impersonation.
Oh, yeah, Coach Taylor, he gets fired up on the sidelines, man. You'll catch it, you'll be right by the bench. He'll be like, catch it, drive it, right to the basket. So, yeah, it kind of gets me amped up. I still remember that.
No, I think one thing about Coach Taylor that's really cool is that he's changed his style a little bit. I mean, he came in, he wanted to play fast. Last year, your senior year, I think you guys really slowed it down after the first, 5-6 games?
Absolutely.
Started playing really methodical and really slow. And now I think he looks for opportunistic opportunities to play fast, but play slow when need be. And I think that's what's cool is that he's changed his style. Now he's found a style that works. He's found a group of guys that it works for. And now it's just a learning curve. If you're a head coach or if you're an athletic director and you hire a head coach that has no previous head coaching experience, as an athletic director, you have to understand that there's going to take a time for the learning curve, not just for the players, but also for the coaching staff. And I think that the administration is seeing that, and now you're seeing Coach Taylor come around to the style that works best for him, and obviously it's paying off in the win-loss column.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then now what are your predictions for the Big West Conference standings? Did you guys have a chart that you did? You want to name it from
I think,
one?
like I said, they don't have a lot of expectations going in, but since we finished last year, they only can go up. And I think Coach Taylor is passionate. He's not into more victories. So his sense of urgency is up right now. He's trying to win. He's desperate for a win and get better than what we did last year because it was really disappointing. So I don't think they'll finish last. Coach Taylor won't let them, and I think Malcolm Brooks with those players, Trey Coggins as well, I don't think they'll finish last like we did last year.
Yeah, and they were predicted to finish last too. I mean, in the conference standings, the preseason standings, they were picked to finish last. And honestly, I've seen just about every team in the league play this season at some point, either in person or on tape. And I mean, Cal State Fullerton's not the last place team so far as of now. And I mean, you look at the other teams in the league, you have to think UC Irvine and Hawaii are going to be up in that top 3. Long Beach State's right there as well. I mean, UC Riverside's knocking on the door. I think a team that nobody's talking about is UC Santa Barbara. You know how tough they were last year.
Absolutely.
And they've got a trio of 3 players. They have their big 3 that are doing some things. So the end of the season obviously is far away, but I think it's going to be exciting again when the time comes.
And so now that, what can they change about that? They just lost their 6-game winning streak against Washington. So how can they keep the momentum going into the conference games and everything?
I think it starts on defense. They gave up 3 starters on the opposing team that had more than 15 points, but you can't do that on the road when you're trying to win a game. They also had the starters combined for 4 assists. The team for the whole night combined for 8 assists. So I think they need to move the ball around, might be sticking in people's hands too much. And again, that comes with just chemistry. This is a new team. A lot of players haven't played together before. So throughout time, building up to conference, I think they'll get that under wraps and get that control before conference starts.
It's hard to compare the Big West Conference with the Pac-12 teams. And Washington is a team that's much bigger, much deeper, more athletic. That's hard to rebound with. That's hard to contend with. So not that they can't beat a team like Washington. They absolutely can. They didn't the other day. But now, I think to get back on track, I believe they have LMU coming up next. That's a revenge game for them. They lost by 3 at LMU in the season opener. And after that, they rattled off a few wins in a row. So, I mean, I think it's a game that if they get back on track playing the way they have been before Washington, and they can beat LMU at home, I think everything's going to be back to the way it has been the last month.
And now going on to the veteran players like Sheldon Blackwell, Kennedy Asume, Malcolm Brooks, and Lynero Johnson. What do you think their roles are on the team? I know you were a veteran as well.
Mm-hmm.
What was your role, and how do you think they're keeping up with the responsibilities as the veterans?
Yeah, Coach Taylor, he leans on the seniors, senior leadership, the older guys on the team for more than just points and scoring on the court. He leans for them to be an extension of the coach off the court as well. So there's a lot of freshmen, there's a lot of transfers that might be going off the course. Their job to keep them focused, stay focused on what's at task, because the season's going to have a lot of peaks and lows, but mentally you got to stay focused on the goal of winning as many games as you can. So I think he'll lean on them for that, as well as just to be leaders by example on the court. When things get tough, you got to lean on your seniors to stay focused and stay calm under pressure.
I agree. I think it's more mental than anything. I mean, there's more newcomers than returners, I believe, on this team.
Absolutely, yeah.
You don't even know half the team.
Right. All transfers.
Yeah. So I think it's very mental and understanding your coach, understanding the coaching staff. I think as new players come in, the experienced players, yes, they can give an example on the court. I agree with that 100%. But they also can pick a player up and help them understand that's just how Coach Taylor is, or that's how Assistant Coach Smith is, or whoever. And just it's a mental approach. It's a psychological thing. If they get that if they can figure that out, they'll be just fine. But I think the returners have probably done that for the newcomers coming into the season.
And lastly, from the years working with the Big West Conference, who has been your favorite tight end to interview or just talk to? I know you're looking this way, but
it's got to be this guy right here, huh?
Absolutely.
I mean, look at this guy. He's always got a smile on his face. No, he's always been fun to talk to. And before games and practices I used to go to, he was always the guy that I joke around with, but he would always give good insight. But he's always got this pleasant attitude, and he's fun to be around, so absolutely would have to be Josh. I'm not just saying that because you're here, I promise.
What can I
And
say?
who's
He's
your
trying to make me blush.
Yeah.
He's trying to make me
Big
blush.
West Conference
You're turning red.
interview, please.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for joining me again, Richie. Thank you for coming,
problem.
always. And Josh, we'll be seeing
I
more
love
of you,
being
right?
here, man. Tune in, baby.
Even though the soccer season is over, Rebecca Wilson's name keeps on popping up. Wilson was nominated for the Soccer News Net College Boot Player of the Year award, being named a Mac Herman Trophy semifinalist, and she was named to the NSCAA, National Soccer Coaches Association of America, All-West Regional First Team, and lastly, picked up her first ever NSCAA First Team All-American nod. She was one of the 13 players to be named to the first All-American First Team. All honorees on the first, second, and third teams will be recognized at the NSCAA All-American Luncheon in Baltimore, Maryland on Saturday, January 16th. Her senior year cannot be put into words. She led her team and the Big West Conference, leading 19 goals, 10 assists, and 48 points. She ended her career on a high note. Thank you to Rebecca Wilson.
Track and field confirmed 4 early commits for the 2016-2017 season. Here's a look at the signees. Sandra Huerta, a 2-team Suburban League champion in the 1600 meter and 3200 meter. Sandra Flores, a 2015 Desert Valley League champion in 800 meter and 2015 CAF Division I finalist in the 800 meter. Gabriel Toscano, a junior college state champion, along with the 2015 Southern California and South Coast Conference champ, all in the 800. And lastly, Ryan Wade, a 6'3" sprinter who was a 2015 CIF SS finalist in the 100 meters. The Titans certainly look forward to what seems to be a very exciting season.
The Titans are coming off their 17th trip to the NCAA College World Series in 2015 and first since 2009, snapping the longest College World Series drought in Fullerton history. As they look to do the same this year, Titan baseball signs 10 new recruits for the 2016 season. Last year, the Titans landed a number 24 spot recruiting class in the nation, according to Collegiate Baseball newspaper's annual evaluation, and the first among Big West opponents. New Titan recruits included 6'3", 210-pound Dylan Brown from Santa Ana, California, Dylan Carson, a 6'3", 195-pound left-handed pitcher who earned first-team All-Delta League and first-team All-State honors as a junior, Brandon Moore, a right-handed pitcher with a 3.00 ERA, just to name a few. So the Titans are looking forward an interesting season this spring.
Dinner with the Titans Part 2 is underway, this time with baseball team. The 10th annual fundraiser is the largest fundraising event of the year for the nationally renowned Cal State Fullerton baseball team. CSUF alumni, two-time Oscar winner, and two-time Golden Globe winner Kevin Costner will be this year's speaker. This event allows fans and supporters to mingle with the new team. All proceeds of the dinner will directly benefit the Titan baseball program. This event is on Friday, January 29, 2016. For more information, visit FullertonTitans.com.
And guess what? We have a top 5 plays of the semester. Our reporters Jasmine and Christian have come up with your top 5 plays to remember for this semester.
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Your top 5 plays for the fall 2015 semester, and we start off with men's basketball. Lionheart Leslie crossover, draws 3 defenders, and finishes the and 1 for the game.
He ends up with 7 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals. Lionheart all over the place. Let's go number 4, and it's Jade Vega, the true freshman. Ooh, and she's going up, and it is in for the buzzer tying shot. Jade Vega is excited, and so are the Titans. She'll have 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists in that game.
Certainly a bright spot for Cal State Fullerton women's basketball, but moving on to number 3 to men's soccer. Piñera, great awareness, good pass to Sanchez, who leads the way with a goal, just like he had the entire season, leading the Big West champions past Cal Poly in the semifinals.
Number 2, the first road victory. Give it to Jade Vega. Let's see where she goes with this ball, and she is out of there into the net for the buzzer beater. Yes, that's Jade Vega again for their first road win of the season against Loyola Marymount, and the Titans are excited.
And now for your number 1 play of the season, courtesy of Wilson and Barrios. Take it away, Jasmine.
All right, let's go. Alba Barrios, true freshman, sends it back to the net, past the defender, and she earns the Titans their 3rd consecutive Big West Championship title. And they go on to face USC in the NCAA tournament first round.
Well, there you have it, folks. Top 5 plays of fall 2015. Back to you ladies at the studio.
Just a reminder on what's to come, stay tuned for our next episode coming up in the spring. Inside the Basket airs its 2nd episode in February, hosted by our very own Jasmine Arenas to keep us updated with Titan basketball. And as we know, baseball is very big here at Fullerton. Janice Garcia will analyze and break down Titan baseball on our newest show, On the Mound. Lastly, keep a lookout for our reporters on the field. We'll be showing highlights from men's basketball and women's basketball, baseball, softball, and women's tennis.
It's going to be a great semester
I'm
next year.
so excited.
I'm really excited for baseball, of course. What about you?
Basketball.
Well, yeah.
Sorry. Women's basketball.
And for your Titan Timeline highlighting the biggest games coming in the next couple weeks and spring semester games. Men's basketball hosts LMU on Saturday, December 12th at 6 p.m. Then they travel to compete in the Far West Classic Invite to face Oregon State and Portland from Friday, December 19th to Saturday, December 20th. Women host Eastern Washington on Sunday, December 13th at 1 p.m. The team travels down the I-15 to San Diego State on Saturday, December 19th at 2 p.m. Titan Tennis returns for their spring season on Wednesday, January 20th at 1:30 p.m. against UC San Diego. Titan Baseball returns on Friday, February 19th as they travel up north to face Stanford for a 3-game series. They face the NC Dinos of South Korea on Tuesday, February 23rd at 6 p.m.
And remember all of our social media outlets. You can catch our entire video highlight library on our YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/TitanSportsRecap. Follow us on our Twitter handle is @CSUF Sports Recap. Find us on Facebook for updates on all Fullerton athletics, and check us out on Instagram for behind-the-scenes photos. Follow us at Titan Sports Recap.
Well, that's going to do it for the Season 10 finale of Titans Sports Recap. Thank you again, Josh Gentry and Richie Schueler, for joining us. Titans, good luck on finals and have a great winter break. Thanks for joining us. I'm Janice Garcia.
And I'm Melina Joseph.
See you next year.